Hello and welcome back to another of these bonus videos, and in this one we're going to repurpose a few of the cave textures from the last couple of videos and use those to make a few things like the stairway you can see here. So let's get started. Okay then, so the main things we'll be using this time are some thin cardboard, an empty toilet roll or two, and we'll also print out a sheet of the plain cave floor texture. That's this one here. Right, the first thing we need to do is squash the toilet roll tube nice and flat and then mark out the height of each of the steps. And I'll be going up in 1/2 inch increments, so the first step's going to be a 1/2 inch high, the second one 1 inch, the third one 1.5 inches, and so on. Then we'll need to trim those to size with a sharp knife, just like you can see here, and we'll be using these as the main structure of the steps themselves. Okay, so obviously these will need to be covered in the stone texture, so I'll just mark out similar size strips on the printout, like so, and then trim those to size. Then we can cut away any excess, apply some glue to the back of the texture with the trusty glue stick, and then wrap it around the relevant piece. So something like that. Then we can do a similar thing with the other pieces. So I've really sped this part up as it's the exact same process. And when we're done, we should end up with 3 pieces that look like this. So if that's the sides pretty much done, we'll now need to make something to go on top. And for this, we're just going to cut out a suitable length of the stone texture and glue that to the thin cardboard that I mentioned earlier. Then we'll just give all of these pieces a few minutes to dry. Okay, so once we've done that, we can then take one of the tubes and kind of squash and bend it into a random shape so that it doesn't look like a cylinder anymore. Basically something like this. Next, I'll just trim the cardboard piece to a more manageable size, though it might have been a better idea to do this first, to be honest, but there you go. Okay, so now we can take one of our crumpled tubes and draw a line around it that's a bit bigger than the piece itself, and then simply cut out the resulting shape. And there you go. So I'll really speed things up again here while I do exactly the same thing for the other 2 pieces, as it's all pretty straightforward stuff really, and I'm sure you don't need to see me doing the same thing over and over again. Anyway, there's the last one done. Okay, the only thing left to do now is to stick them all together. So here I am applying some hot glue to the top of one of the tubes, and then simply pushing it down in place. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'll just quickly go ahead and do the same thing for the other 2 pieces. So something like that. And if I put them all together, you should start to see the kind of thing we're aiming for. But that's not the best of angles, so here's another shot, and this time I've laid out a long tunnel. So if we'd like to add in a stairway over here somewhere, then all we need to do is add a few of these pieces. So something like that. And as long as you don't glue them all together, you can have them twist and turn however you like. Anyway, here's another example, and this time I've cut out a piece of the water texture just into a random pool shape, and then tucked it beneath the cave tiles you can see on the left. Then I'll add a few more tiles on the right hand side, and then a couple of these new pieces, and with the inclusion of a few planks of wood from the furniture PDF, we've not only got ourselves a nice little encounter area, we've also managed to join 2 separate passages together. And finally, if you make a bunch of these pieces that are all the same height, you can also use them to make passages or ledges or things like that that cross over one another on different levels, so something like this. However, these upper levels are probably not going to be all that stable once you start moving miniatures around, so I'd recommend making specific pieces for this kind of thing, kind of like what you can see on the screen right now. And as you can see, I've also stuck a few stalactites to the underside of the floor tile, just for some extra detail. But if you really want to go to town, you can also make larger pieces like this one. And to do this, I've just taken a 2-inch wide strip of cardboard, glued the ends together to make a large ring, and then it's the same process of gluing on some of the texture, forming it into an irregular shape, and then adding a top piece. Though in this instance, I did use the gridded texture and some single corrugated cardboard for the top. And as you just saw, you can use a few of the stairway pieces to make a tunnel that leads up to an area like this, or you can place them along the edge of a normal tile and use it to represent a ledge or a raised area, like you can see here. Okay then, that's pretty much it for this one, so as always, I'll finish things off with a few shots of the new pieces in action, and as you can see, they really are quite versatile, and they literally add a new dimension to this kind of setup. So all that's left to do is remind you to like and subscribe and all that nonsense, assuming you like what you've seen, and to thank you all for watching, so thanks again, see you next time.